great news for low-income seniors this month, so let's talk about what we've found. First, if you haven't heard about the Keeping Kupuna Fed Act yet, you need to know about this. This is a bill that was introduced by Representative Takuda from Hawaii. It's really short, only 12 lines, and the only purpose of this act is to exempt Social Security benefits from the SNAP calculation. The main reason that so many seniors only get $23 a month in food stamps is because Social Security counts against you as income. If this bill passes, seniors will get a lot more food benefits because that Social Security money won't count anymore. It also means that those annual COLA increases won't reduce your food stamps either. So if you're a senior, know a senior, or are a person who cares about seniors in this country, please call your elected representatives and ask them to support the Keep Kupuna Fed Act. That's HR 3126, and it was referred to the Subcommittee on Nutrition on June 1st. There's another bill you need to support too, and this one is called the Senior Hunger Prevention Act of 2023. This one's been introduced to the Senate by Senator Casey of Pennsylvania. This bill is a bit longer, but it'll do loads of amazing things for seniors. The bill would increase the minimum SNAP benefit for seniors from $23 a month to $95 a month. It would also add a standard $155 medical deduction, which would basically increase the amount of benefits you get by reducing your countable income. It would also streamline the application process and expand the ESAP program so that seniors only have to recertify once every 3 years. There's a lot of good stuff in there, including an expansion of SNAP food delivery options for homebound seniors and those with disabilities. I highly recommend that you reach out to your elected senators and voice your support for that bill as well. And in other good news, we found 36 new EBT discounts this month across 24 states. We have well over 1,000 EBT discounts on our list now, and we just added these new ones in Alabama, California, Colorado, Delaware, DC, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. There are some really exciting things in there, including 2 zoos and 2 aquariums that are offering discounts to guests with EBT cards. So be sure to check out the full list at lowincomerelief.com/EBT. Now there's another bill before Congress right now that you need to know about, and that one is called the Healthy SNAP Act of 2023. This one was brought to us by Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, and the goal of this bill is to further restrict what you can and cannot buy with food stamps. The bill would change the wording of the Food and Nutrition Act to say that you cannot buy alcoholic beverages, tobacco, soft drinks, candy, ice cream, prepared desserts such as cakes, pies, cookies, or similar products. The new bill would also direct the Secretary of Agriculture to create a new definition of food that would be based on nutrition research. The stated goal would be to ensure that the fat, sugar, and salt content of the food and food products is appropriate. Now, there's no word on what would be considered appropriate or what similar products might mean. I'm not a fan of this bill at all, and not for the reasons that you might think. It would be ridiculously expensive for the government to try to reclassify all of the different food products that are currently on the shelves and then keep up with all the new food products that are reintroduced every year. This is not a bill that will save the government money. This is a bill that will cost the government money that will be spent on bureaucrats and mid-level managers in the middle of government just so that they can tell low-income families what they can and cannot do. This may surprise you, but I'm not a fan of excessive government spending. If the government is going to spend money, I believe that that money should actually go to the people who need help and not pay for some pointless job for a mid-level paper pusher. Statistically, only about 22% of food stamps is spent on junk food. That's 22 cents out of every dollar. That's about $61 for a household that receives 280. That's really not that much, especially when you consider that so-called junk food is so much cheaper and more affordable than healthy food tends to be. Anyway, I know that we've talked about initiatives like this before, and I always tell you not to worry, because states don't have the authority to change the federal food stamps law. This time, it's a little different because Congress absolutely does have that authority. They don't have to ask the USDA for permission to bend the rules because Congress makes the rules. If you have opinions about the Healthy SNAP Act of 2023, make sure you tell your elected senators right away. This is especially important because Congress has to pass a new farm bill by the end of September. The Farm Bill is the law that governs food stamps and a lot of other food assistance programs. It has to be renewed every 5 years, and the current one expires this fall. We've already seen some lawmakers threatening SNAP aggressively this season, so it's important to stand up and make sure your voice is heard. Reach out to your lawmakers and let them know that these food benefits are important to you. Of course, that's all hypothetical right now. So let's talk about something that you can count on: SNAP replacements. Dozens of states have received approval to start issuing replacements for benefits that have been stolen by skimmers. Here are the list of states and the dates that they plan to start processing these replacements. The dates may change, we're not sure. Alabama started on May 30th. Arizona will start on June 19th. Colorado on July 3rd. Connecticut started on June 2nd. Delaware started on June 5th. Florida will start on August 24th, Hawaii on June 3rd, Illinois on July 18th, Indiana on July 1st, Iowa on June 15th, Kansas on July 14th. Maryland started way back on March 6th, and interestingly, Governor Moore has announced that the state will replace any SNAP benefits that have been stolen since January 1st, 2021. This is a major extension over the federal law, which only authorizes replacements back to October 2022. You can get more information on this at dhs.maryland.gov/EBT-reimbursement. Massachusetts expects to begin on June 3rd, New Jersey on July 1st, New York on June 30th, North Carolina on August 23rd, Ohio on July 31st, Oklahoma on June 15th, Oregon started on May 22nd, Pennsylvania on July 5th, South Carolina on June 21st, South Dakota started on May 24th, Texas on May 31st, Utah expects to begin those replacements on September 1st, Vermont started way back on March 14th, Virginia expects to begin July 17th, Washington on August 23rd, and West Virginia on July 1st. Now, those replacements will cover any benefits that were lost or stolen after October 1st, 2022. Each state is setting their own parameters for how the reimbursements will work, so you will need to check with your state's Department of Social Services for those procedures. However, we do have an important word of warning on this. Many users in California have found that the state will only replace 1 month's worth of benefits at the normal benefit amount, no matter how much was actually taken from you. So if you've been saving up those emergency allotments so that you'd be able to survive now, you can still end up losing a lot. We've received a lot of comments from people who have lost hundreds of dollars and only received maybe $100 in replacements. That is a huge loss. So it's important to do everything you can to protect those benefits. Change your PIN numbers often. Always inspect the card terminal to make sure there's no skimmer attached before you swipe your card. You can do that by looking for loose parts or pieces that don't quite line up right. You're most likely to encounter a skimmer at a terminal in a shady or unsupervised spot, so try to only use your EBT card in well-lit areas that are under constant surveillance. Please stay safe out there, my friends. I worry about you all the time. And finally, if you haven't already heard, President Biden has signed the debt ceiling bill, so those changes are now official. This is a big deal for SNAP users because this law changes some critical parts of the food stamps program. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the new work requirements for adults between the ages of 50 and 54 will put 750,000 older adults at risk of losing their food benefits. The final bill included some exceptions for veterans, people who are homeless, and former foster youth. The new debt agreement also makes several technical changes to the TANF program by adjusting work and reporting requirements for states. The details are complicated, but CBPP expects that this will make it harder to get TANF in most areas as well. Interestingly, the final debt agreement did authorize a pilot program that will allow 5 states to set their own employment and earnings benchmarks. I don't know what 5 states will be participating in that pilot or when it will launch, but it does seem like TANF might be easier to get in those states once that pilot starts. For updates on that, please make sure you're subscribed and watching our weekly live videos for updates. Please don't forget to check out our recent video on how to get more free food. I'll see you there.